What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kris back at you with your AEW All Out predictions video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Ring the notification bell to let you know when I post more content. And of course, hit me up on Twitter. Also, leave some comments in the comment section. Let me know some of your predictions. What do you think about some of the matches are gonna go? Do you think there are gonna be any surprise appearances? Pretty sure there's gonna be one, but in this video I'm gonna talk about a couple others that I think are gonna happen anyway. So yeah, man, let's get into this video, man. Let's get into these predictions. So I'm recording this after Dynamite last week. I've been trying to record this video for the longest time, but I'm actually glad that I waited till after Dynamite to record this, because there are a couple changes. One, of course, being the fact that we were supposed to get Andrade versus Pac, and that's not gonna happen because of travel restrictions or something. I don't know if it's on Andrade's end. Looks like it's gonna be on Pac's end, but I think because I think he's in like he's still in the UK, like he travels back and forth from the UK to wherever Dynamite's being taped, wherever the show is being taped. So I think that's more on his end. I think that they announced that it's gonna be postponed to a later date. I think at next week's Rampage. I think that's what they said. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be on next week's Rampage, but whenever. So that's not gonna be on the card. So now they've moved what was supposed to be on the buy-in, which is the pre-show, and it's gonna be the Casino Battle Royale for the women, and whoever wins will be the #1 contender for the AEW Women's Championship. And I think it's like 21 women in here, so I'm not gonna go through every single woman that's gonna be in the Battle Royal. One thing I think is gonna happen, we're gonna see the debut of Ruby Soho. She's been posting videos and vignettes, kind of hyping up when she's gonna, like, just kind of staying in the mix, just bigging up her return to wrestling. And the last video she posted, it said destination, and it has the lines, like the destination was blank. But some people on Twitter kind of speculated that the spaces are enough letters for the word Chicago, and that's where All Out is going to take place. So I think, along with a lot of other people, think that Ruby Soho is going to debut in the buy-in, or not the buy-in, but the Casino Battle Royale. Do I think she's going to win? Probably not, but she's going to make a surprise entrance. Who I think is going to win? What's her name? Jamie Hayter. For some reason, I think it's going to be Jamie Hayter that wins, because when Britt Baker announced that Jamie Hayter and Reba were going to be in the Battle Royal, she said something to the effect of, yeah, it's going to be either Reba, and she kind of like brushed Reba off, but it said maybe Jamie Hayter is going to win because she knows that they're with her and they're not going to turn on her and try to cash in and win the Women's Championship. And I'm not too sure. I mean, Jamie Hayter kind of had this look like, yeah, we'll see about that. So I think Jamie Hayter's going to win the Casino Battle Royale. As for the rest of the card, we have Jon Moxley versus Satoshi Kojima. Now, I'm going to be 1000% honest with you. I don't watch New Japan. I know. Sad to say. I mean, I guess you got to take my wrestling card, my smart card, whatever. But I don't watch New Japan. I know a little bit here and there. I can tell you some wrestlers. But as far as telling you who Kojima is and why this is so important, I got nothing. I've heard that this dude is pretty hard-hitting, so that's why it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Kojima. So as far as who wins, I'm gonna rock with Jon Moxley. Sorry I couldn't really be more, talkative about this match. But like I said, I don't really follow New Japan, so I can't really give you details as to why I think Moxley's gonna win. Besides, it's Jon Moxley, so whatever. The next match we have is Paul Wight versus QT Marshall. And bro, who asked for this? Who thought that it would be a good idea to say, you know what we really need on the show? QT Marshall. That's really gonna bring the people in. And also, this past week on Dynamite, there was a tag team match between FTR and Proud and Powerful, which in my opinion, this should have been on the show instead of QT Marshall versus Paul Wight. But I have a little theory. So there was a segment where QT Marshall kind of called out the Big Show, and not Big Show, but Paul Wight. Paul Wight came out and ran through the Nightmare Factory, and then they kind of got the jump on him, and then the Gun Club came out and evened up the odds, so we thought. This led to a heel turn by Billy Gunn, right? So Billy Gunn pretty much took a steel chair and hit Paul Wight in the hip with a chair, right? So a couple weeks ago, QT Marshall pointed out that Big Show has injury issues, hip issues, and then you have Billy Gunn come out and attack Paul Wight right in the hip. That's been pointed out that's giving Paul Wight a lot of issues. So my conspiracy theory is QT Marshall comes out, calls out the Big Show. Big Show announced that Paul Wight can, because he was attacked and he's not medically cleared to compete. So QT Marshall is getting on the mic like, yeah, I told you I'm the best, I'm QT Marshall, everyone loves me, blah, blah, blah. The whole crowd's booing him out the building because who actually is a fan of QT Marshall? And then we hear the music. It kind of sounds familiar, but it's kind of remixed because, another company kind of owns the rights to this, but it's kind of a remix version of Daniel Bryan's old theme, or Bryan Danielson. He comes out, he makes his debut, and he pretty much clamps QT Marshall's cheeks, locks him in the belt locker, hits him with the running knee, or whatever he does, and you have the AEW debut of Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, because it's been announced, or I guess not really announced, but the rumor is Daniel Bryan was supposed to show up at the New York show at Arthur Ashe Stadium, but because there's still a whole pandemic out, there's still a possibility that there could be a shutdown, maybe or maybe not. So now you have Daniel Bryan show up on All Out instead of Arthur Ashe, and just take advantage of the fact that there's still crowds in the arena, and the fact that we still have crowds and we still can take advantage of the pop that Bryan Danielson could get especially in front of Chicago. So alright, so next up we have Miro versus Eddie Kingston. So Miro is probably one of the best things in AEW right now, and it didn't really start off that way, but I'm glad that they're building up to be this monster, this brute, God's favorite champion. It's probably one of my favorite things on TV right now, on AEW TV. And you have him going up against Eddie Kingston, and the promo that they had on Dynamite was pretty dope. As far as who wins, I think Miro's still gonna win. The match is gonna be good though. Like, it's gonna be real brutal, real hard hitting. But I think Miro's gonna pull it out. He's gonna win. He's still gonna be the TNT champion. So next up we have Britt Baker versus Kris Statlander. Britt Baker's gonna win. I mean, I like Kris Statlander. I like the alien gimmick. It's pretty much over with the crowd. People love Kris Statlander, but they also love Britt Baker. Another person that's really one of the best things going on in AEW, one of the top best things going on in AEW. She's so over, one of the most over wrestlers, dare I say, in all of wrestling right now. People really love Britt Baker, even though she's a heel. Like, she's over. Like, people, when her music hits, the place goes crazy. Whenever she hits the D.M.D, the crowd stays along with her. So I don't know, but Britt Baker is still going to be the women's champion, and like I said earlier, going on with the Jamie Hayter storyline, that could possibly be something going forward if Jamie Hayter does indeed win the Battle Royal. Alright, so next up we have Chris Jericho versus MJF. Oh man, one of the longest going feuds in AEW right now between MJF and Chris Jericho. So MJF has already beaten Chris Jericho, I think, about 3 times. Chris Jericho is obsessed with beating MJF, and he will do whatever it takes. He endured the labors of Jericho, he endured blood and guts, all just to get his hands on MJF. So MJF pretty much said, listen, I'm done with you, but if you are indeed saying that if I beat you again, this is going to be the end of it all, you're not going to wrestle anymore for AEW, you're just going to sit there on commentary. Ah man, I'm kind of torn between this one, because to me, this one really could go either way, because you could have Chris Jericho finally, get this big win over MJF, finally vanquish this demon, you know, finally slay this dragon that's been pestering him for so long, you know, because he hasn't been able to beat MJF. Everything that MJF is throwing at him, he's pretty much been able to knock it out the park until he gets to MJF. Like, he still can't crack that mystery. On the other hand, can you imagine if MJF were to get this win over Chris Jericho, and he can say that he was the one that took Chris Jericho out, he was the one that retired Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho cannot beat him. Can you imagine how much of a heel he would be if he could do that, you know? So this one's really a toss-up, man. I'm gonna say Chris Jericho. My heart is telling me Chris Jericho, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't be surprised if MJF won. I'm gonna say Chris Jericho, but I'm kind of hoping MJF wins too. But, you know, I'm gonna rock with Chris Jericho just for the sake of making a prediction. All right, so now we got the big money matches, the main event matches. First off, we got the Lucha brothers going up against the Young Bucks inside of a steel cage for the AEW Tag Team Championships. And to me, man, this is probably going to be the match of the night because of who's involved. You got the Young Bucks, you got the Lucha brothers, you got a steel cage. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Lucha Bros, man, because that's the whole point of the steel cage. The Young Bucks have been winning their matches due to outside interference because of Brandon Cutler, because of the Good Brothers, Kenny Omega, Don Callis. All these people have been able to interfere in the match. So now that they're inside of the steel cage, there's no way, or there's still a possible way, but feasibly there's no way that there should be any outside interference. I mean, is there going to be shenanigans and outside interference? Probably, yeah. But I would not be surprised if the Lucha Brothers somehow were able to pull it off and beat the Young Bucks. Finally be able to be the team that beats the Young Bucks and wins the AEW Tag Team Championships. All right, man. So now we got one of the big money matches. One of the main reasons people are tuning in. One of the main reasons people are coming to get those ice cream bars, man. You got Darby Allin versus CM Punk, who is making his AEW debut as a wrestler. His first match in 7 years, man. And he said it before, he's nervous, he's scared, because realistically, he hasn't been doing this for 7 years. And Darby Allin, he's been going hard, he's been going strong, taking the bumps, winning matches. So, of course, CM Punk's gonna win. You can't have CM Punk lose in his debut match, his first match in 7 years, and lose, at making all this hype and hoopla. They brought in ice cream bars just to have this man lose? Nah. But the match itself will be good. He's going to make Darby Allin look like $10 million. He's already... Thank you, I agree, man. It wouldn't make any sense at all for CM Punk to lose. But as I was saying, he's going to put Darby Allin over in this match. He's already put him over as far as like the promo work, as far as saying that if CM Punk was 15 years old, his favorite wrestler would be Darby Allin. Like, just putting this man over, making him seem like a big superstar. Darby Allin is one of the most over wrestlers, forgive me, in AEW, and this is just gonna be a big money match. But like I said, CM Punk's gonna walk out with a W, and everyone will get ice cream bars. I wish I had one, but I don't. But it's all good though. All right. So the main event for the AEW World Championship, you have Kenny Omega going up against Christian Cage. Now, Christian Cage already has a victory over Kenny Omega. He beat him for the Impact Wrestling Championship. And like I said before when I did my reaction to that, it was cool to get that, for Christian to get that victory. It established that Christian Cage can beat Kenny Omega when it really counts. So with that being said, I'm rocking with Kenny Omega. Now, this is going to be another good match because we already know that these two can go. Like, these two work really well with each other. Christian is one of the best to do it. Kenny Omega is probably one of the best to do it. So the match itself is going to be good. That's a no-brainer. But as far as how Kenny Omega wins, this is the kicker. So I think that of course you're going to have the Good Brothers and Don Callis trying to interfere. And I think they're gonna get thrown out. It's gonna be like so much interference that the Good Brothers and Don Callis are gonna be thrown out. They're gonna make the match go to the back. So it's like, all right, so it's gonna be a legit one-on-one match. And of course, you have the Young Bucks out of the picture because they just had a steel cage match. So they're probably gonna be in no condition to come out and run interference. So it's gonna look like a legit one-on-one match. And Christian is gonna look like he's gonna have the match won. And then out of nowhere, you have this dude in the hoodie just show up out of nowhere and hit him with a super kick. And you're like, oh, who is this? And then it's going to be Adam Cole. Adam Cole is going to cost Christian Cage the match. And Kenny Omega is going to hit the one-wing angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega is still the champion. And you have a debuting Adam Cole. So now this sets up Adam Cole versus Christian going forward. That's a match we've never seen before. Probably going to be a real dope match going forward. And then this still leaves the door open for Hangman to make his return and finally get the win over Kenny Omega. So yeah, man, those are all my predictions for All Out. What do you guys think? Like I said before earlier in the video, man, let me know in the comment section below. What are some of your predictions? What do you think of my predictions? Do you think I'm spot on? Do you think I'm absolutely wrong? Do you think I'm gonna get everything wrong? Let me know in the comment section below, man. Of course, as always, like, comment, subscribe. You guys take care, be easy. And remember, if no one else has told you that they love you, man, I love you. It's cool to talk to people, let people in. If you know, you know, man. Just take care of yourself, take care of others around you. Be easy. Peace.